The offer comes on Geonosis, in a stone chamber with firelight on the walls. Count Dooku stands across from Obi-Wan Kenobi, calm, measured, speaking in the tone of a man who believes every word he is saying. He talks about the corruption eating through the Senate, about a Sith Lord controlling the Republic from the inside, about the coming war that will consume everything the Jedi were built to protect. In another life, Obi-Wan refuses without hesitation. He says his allegiance is to the Republic, and the conversation ends there. But in this timeline, Obi-Wan listens differently. Not because he believes Dooku, not because he is tempted, but because somewhere in the middle of that speech, a thought lands quietly and does not let go. Dooku is not lying about the Sith Lord. Obi-Wan can feel it through the Force. The weight of something true, buried deep inside the manipulation. If there is genuinely a Sith controlling the Republic, the only way to find out who it is to accept the offer. Obi-Wan agrees to join the Separatists. Before he commits fully, he manages one thing. A short, encrypted transmission, barely a sentence, pushed through a secondary comm frequency and aimed toward Coruscant. Not a full explanation. Just enough to tell the Council that this is not what it looks like. Then he steps forward and shakes Dooku's hand. The Clone Wars begin as they did the Battle of Geonosis erupts. The Jedi arrive, the Republic clones deploy. But when the smoke clears and the Separatist leaders retreat, there is one major difference from the original timeline. Obi-Wan Kenobi does not leave with the Jedi. He leaves with Dooku. No explanation, no public statement. Just an absence that will ripple through the entire war, through the Council, through the Senate, and most dangerously of all, through Anakin Skywalker, who watched his master walk away and received no explanation at all. The Council chamber on Coruscant goes very quiet when the transmission plays. 12 words. That is all Obi-Wan sent. 12 words on a secondary encrypted frequency, compressed small enough that only someone actively looking for it would ever find it. The message is barely a message, more of a signal. But Yoda reads between the lines immediately, and what he finds there is not comfort. The debate that follows is the most difficult the Council has held in decades. Mace Windu speaks first, and speaks plainly. This is not a sanctioned mission. There was no vote, no discussion, no authorization from the Council. Obi-Wan made a unilateral decision to place himself inside the Separatist command structure, and whatever his intentions, the risk is real and immediate. If Dooku breaks his cover, the Order loses a senior master. If Obi-Wan accidentally feeds the enemy useful information, the consequences could be catastrophic. Depa Billaba argues the other side. The Sith threat Obi-Wan flagged is real. If there is genuinely a Sith Lord embedded at the highest level of the Republic, then conventional methods have already failed. They have been failing for years without anyone noticing. An asset inside Dooku's operation is not a liability. It may be the only card the Order has left. The vote is split. In the end, Yoda casts the deciding position, not a vote exactly, but a directive. They will not declare Obi-Wan a traitor publicly. They will not send anyone to retrieve or expose him. They will monitor, wait, and trust, with the understanding that if his cover breaks, the Council cannot officially acknowledge what he was doing. Obi-Wan is completely on his own. What the Council does not fully discuss, what no one in that room says out loud, is what this decision means for the young knight waiting in the corridor outside. Anakin Skywalker was told only that his master is on a classified assignment. He doesn't believe it for a single second. Anakin Skywalker is 20 years old and running out of patience. 3 months have passed since Geonosis. 3 months since his master walked away with a man who tried to have them both executed. No real goodbye, no full explanation, just a classified assignment and a council that won't give him anything more. He is told to trust the process, to focus on his training, to be patient. Anakin has never been good at being patient. He throws himself into the war instead. He fights with a ferocity that impresses even Mace Windu, making command decisions his rank doesn't technically allow, pushing into engagements where caution would have been the wiser choice. winning battles in ways that make his generals nervous and his troops fiercely loyal. He is extraordinary on the battlefield, and he is falling apart everywhere else. Palpatine notices. The Chancellor begins visiting more frequently invitations to dinners, private conversations in his office, quiet walks through the Senate district after long sessions. He asks about the missions. He listens carefully. He remembers every name Anakin mentions, every frustration, every small detail. He does what Anakin always secretly wished Obi-Wan would do. He makes Anakin feel heard, without correction or judgment. The attachment to Padme deepens in the absence of anyone who might gently push back. Their secret marriage becomes more intense, more desperate, more central to everything Anakin uses to hold himself steady. She is the only person who knows the full truth of how he feels, and that weight, the secrecy, the fear of losing her, begins to press against him in ways he cannot yet fully name. The Council watches Anakin's military results from a distance. They see the wins. They don't see what Palpatine is quietly and methodically constructing in the space Obi-Wan left behind. And somewhere across the galaxy, Obi-Wan is carefully earning the trust of a man who has no idea what his real purpose is. He is getting closer to the name he came for. But time is moving faster than he planned. It takes 8 months to earn Count Dooku's trust. Not the surface kind, not the careful courtesy of an ally who simply hasn't had the chance to betray you yet, the real kind. The kind where a man drops his guarded phrasing and speaks plainly, where he stops testing and starts including you in decisions that actually matter. Obi-Wan earns it deliberately, one careful step at a time, never moving faster than the relationship allows. He takes missions that push him to the edge of who he is. He disrupts Republic supply lines, always finding ways to redirect rather than destroy, to arrange failures that look like incompetence rather than deliberate restraint. He never allows civilian casualties. He is brilliant at it, and that brilliance is real. Dooku, a former Jedi himself, recognizes the skill immediately and respects it. He does not recognize the discipline beneath it. The conversation happens in Dooku's private chambers on Sereno, late at night, 8 months after Geonosis. They have just returned from a long strategy session. Dooku pours tea, an old habit from his Jedi years that he has never abandoned, and speaks in the tone of a man who has been thinking about saying this for some time. He tells Obi-Wan there is a Sith master behind all of it. Not a rumor, not a theory, a fact. Someone Dooku serves personally. Someone who has positioned himself so perfectly inside the Republic that when the war reaches its designed conclusion, he will step into absolute power without a single shot being fired against him. And then he says the name. Darth Sidious is Chancellor Sheev Palpatine. Obi-Wan does not react. He has spent 8 months learning not to react. He nods slowly and asks one careful question. How long has Dooku known? Long enough, Dooku says. Obi-Wan agrees, and behind the stillness of his expression, his mind is already moving toward the next step. He has the name he came for. Now, he needs to get it out. Before Dooku realizes, it is already too late. The message reaches Coruscant in pieces. Obi-Wan cannot send it whole. A transmission that size, from inside Separatist space, would trigger every security protocol in Dooku's network within minutes. So, he breaks it apart. Small fragments, pushed through separate relays, timed to arrive in a sequence that only makes sense if you already know what you are looking for. It takes 3 weeks to fully assemble on the receiving end. When the Jedi Council finally puts it together, the room goes completely silent. Chancellor Palpatine is Darth Sidious. Mace Windu speaks first. He wants to move immediately. Take a strike team to the Chancellor's office, confront him directly, force the truth into the open while the moment still exists. He lays it out like a military operation, clean, fast, decisive. Yoda responds slowly. His eyes stay closed for a long moment. When he finally speaks, his voice is quieter than usual, and that alone is enough to still the room. They have no evidence the Senate will accept. What they have is the word of a Jedi who voluntarily joined the enemy, filtered through a classified spy channel with nothing physical attached, no recordings, no documents, no verifiable source outside Obi-Wan himself. Palpatine has spent decades becoming the Republic's most trusted figure. The Senate will not move against him on the testimony of a man currently listed as a separatist collaborator. The Council sends a return message to Obi-Wan. Find proof. Something real. Something that cannot be explained away. Obi-Wan receives it at Dooku's base on Raxus, reads it once, destroys it. And then, he sits with the weight of what finding that proof will actually require, because getting close enough to physical evidence that links Palpatine to the Sith means going deeper, taking bigger risks, and staying inside longer than is safe. On Coruscant, Palpatine invites Anakin to another private dinner. He mentions, almost casually, that the Council's confidence in certain members seems to be weakening lately. Anakin listens carefully. And the window keeps closing. Dooku finds the thread on a quiet morning. It is not dramatic. It is a small thing. A minor inconsistency in the routing data of a message Obi-Wan sent 6 weeks earlier. Dooku's intelligence analysts flag it. Dooku reviews it himself at dawn, alone, in his private study on Sereno. He traces the route. He follows the fragments. He arrives at a conclusion he has been, on some level, deliberately avoiding for months. He calls Obi-Wan to his chambers that evening. The conversation begins normally. Reports, strategy, the comfortable rhythm of the working relationship they have carefully built over 8 months. And then Dooku sets his cup down, folds his hands, and looks at Obi-Wan with something that is not quite anger. It is disappointment. "You came here to find a name," Dooku says, not a question. There's no point in denying it. Obi-Wan reads that immediately. He straightens, holds Dooku's gaze, and nods once. What follows is not the explosion Obi-Wan prepared for. Dooku doesn't call guards. He doesn't reach for his lightsaber, not yet. He speaks instead, in the flat tone of a man who has watched people he believed in choose the wrong side of history before. "You think the Jedi will stop him?" Dooku says. "They won't. They have had every opportunity. They have been blind for decades." "Maybe," Obi-Wan says quietly, "but I have to try." The duel that follows is fast and brutally efficient. Dooku fighting with cold, controlled fury, Obi-Wan with everything he has and slightly less than he needs. He escapes through a secondary hangar barely, carrying 2 deep cuts, aboard a ship that takes damage before it even clears the atmosphere. But he is out. And within hours, Dooku contacts Palpatine directly. The Jedi know. On Coruscant, Palpatine receives the message, reads it without expression, sets it carefully aside, then picks up his private comm. Anakin Skywalker answers on the second ring. Anakin gets the truth in 2 pieces on the same day, and neither one is delivered gently. The first comes from the Council, an emergency session, called the moment Obi-Wan's damaged ship clears Separatist space. Yoda and Mace Windu sit across from Anakin and tell him directly, Obi-Wan's assignment was always an infiltration. He was a spy. He was never a traitor. And the intelligence he returned with confirms something the Council is not yet prepared to say publicly. Anakin sits with that for exactly as long as it takes him to walk out of the chamber. The second piece comes from Palpatine over calm and measured, framed as concern for the Republic. He tells Anakin that the Council is using Obi-Wan's operation as justification to move against the Chancellor's office. That whatever Obi-Wan claims to have discovered, the Jedi are preparing to do something that will destabilize everything at the worst possible moment. That Anakin, trusted by both sides, may be the only person capable of preventing a catastrophic mistake. And then, almost quietly, Palpatine mentions Padme. The visions, the promise, the fact that what Anakin needs to save her exists within Palpatine's reach, and nowhere else. Anakin stands in a corridor on Coruscant holding a dead comm, and the choice in front of him pulls in every direction at once. If he goes to Obi-Wan chooses his master, the truth, the Jedi, he walks away from Palpatine. He walks away from the only path he has found towards saving Padme, and she is already pregnant. Already in the visions. Already at the edge of the nightmare he cannot stop seeing every time he closes his eyes. If he goes to Palpatine, he knows now what Palpatine is. He knows the name. The calm sits in his hand. And the entire fate of the galaxy waits on one decision that Anakin Skywalker has not made yet. The exposure does not happen cleanly. That is the honest truth of what Obi-Wan's gamble produced. It does not arrive in a single dramatic moment, no confession pulled from Palpatine in front of a packed Senate session, no evidence laid out on a holoprojector with the galaxy watching and understanding all at once. It happens the way most truths in politics happen, slowly, messily, with too much damage already done on every side before the final shape of it becomes clear. Anakin chooses Obi-Wan. That is the turning point. He finds his master in a medbay, aboard a Republic cruiser, battered, exhausted, thinner than he has any right to be, and sits down next to him without speaking for a long time. When he finally talks, he tells Obi-Wan everything, every word Palpatine said, every promise, every careful angle the Chancellor used to keep him close. Obi-Wan listens without interrupting. Together, they go to the Council. The arrest of Chancellor Palpatine happens 12 days later. It is not clean. Palpatine fights, and 3 Jedi Masters do not survive the confrontation. The Senate is in shock. The public cannot fully process what they are being told. Weeks of instability follow the Separatist war shifts without Sidious coordinating it from both sides simultaneously, and the entire conflict begins collapsing inward on itself. Order 66 never executes. The master plan falls apart before it can be triggered. But the Clone Wars have left deep scars. The Republic is wounded and suspicious of the Jedi in ways that take years to even begin healing. Anakin and Padme remain a secret for a while longer. And Anakin carries a question he never fully resolves. If Palpatine was the only path to saving her, what does it mean that he chose differently? The galaxy survives. The Sith are broken. The Jedi Order stands shaken, reduced, but standing. And Obi-Wan Kenobi sits alone in the temple one evening, looking out over the lights of Coruscant, wondering what the cost of being right is supposed to feel like.